Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome to the inaugural episode of the CodPod. That's right, there are thousands, if not millions, of podcasts out there about Call of Duty, but this one, the first official from the belly of the beast itself. My name is Miles Ross. I'm a Call of Duty League commentator, psycho fan, and psycho fan, which is never going to get old to say, but very, very excited to divulge some secrets from this incredible product. Steph, you actually work here.
I'm Stephanie Snowden. I'm the Senior Director of Studio Communications. So I work across all the Call of Duty studios, which is awesome. And it's the cool, I love what I do. But a huge part of that is being part of the discussion with our players. So what better way to do that than to join the podcasting world? They'll literally give anyone a podcast these days. So that's why we're here.
That is why we're here. But this, the idea behind the CodPod, again, is we've got very, very exclusive, obviously, access to developers, people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And you'll be hearing things on this show that you will definitely not be able to hear anywhere else. We're not going to give you the code. We're not going to tell you how to make the thing.
Nope.
But we are going to talk to the people who do
Yes.
and answer some burning questions. We're going to have a mailbag of sorts, which could be a good idea. We'll find out as time goes on. But
yeah, and if you want to be part of that conversation, please reach out to us. Post on social media to the platform of your choosing with hashtag CodPod. If you have questions, you want to let us know what you thought of the first episode, you want, mailbags, FAQs, we're going to have guests, we're going to have updates. You occasionally might hear some news here, which is very exciting. And so some announcements, some juicy little tidbits about future projects and things that are in the pipeline for Modern Warfare 3 or for Warzone. And so we have some exciting stuff to get to today.
Talking about campaign, we can talk a little bit about multiplayer. Are we going to talk about Warzone? We've got zombies as well.
Might get a little taste of Warzone. We've got Season 5 coming up, so I don't want to leave that. We've got some new stuff coming there for Modern Warfare 3 for Warzone. And we'll get a little recap of zombies in the direct too.
Let's talk zombies though, because this is another major change coming into BO6. Round-based is back.
Round-based is back.
Huge.
Biggest, just huge news for the zombies community out there, who are among the most passionate vocal group of people that I have, in terms of communities. They're so awesome, and just, hearing people just be so positive about RBZ being back and, Treyarch back at the helm for the zombies mode. Just
there's a lot of
so
chef's
excited.
kiss moments, I think, for the community, which is really cool. 2 new maps, which is
2 new maps
pretty wild.
launch.
Can you say anything about that? Can you share
Yeah.
deets? Can we get any
so
notes?
again, the creators came in a little bit ago now, and so we were excited to show this off to them. But we have 2 brand new round-based zombies maps coming at launch, and they are called Liberty Falls and Terminus, and they actually happen concurrently. So you play one, you play the other, you'll understand how that fits together in the narrative, which I'm not going to talk about, but I can tell you there's some really exciting things, and it basically follows up with where we, last left off zombies in Black Ops Cold War. So fans of the narrative and the story in RBZ are going to be excited to see,
Awesome.
how that gets paid off. And yeah, we're going to have zombies at next. So you're going to get to see people playing zombies live, and we'll be talking about a lot more in the next few months.
I can't wait.
Global systems or anything that's across all 3 modes, right?
Yeah,
So Omni movement is MP, campaign, zombies. So another good reason to play the campaign first. You get to hone your Omni movement.
There might be a tutorial moment where they want you to dive through
Yeah.
something. I say they, the people who made the game. Thanks, guys, very much. But no, I'm really excited to experience that and
Sharpen the skills.
and sharp. I know. I like to run the weapons first, see how the game feels. Dive into MP and look a little bit better than everyone else.
One thing I would like to say is that I think there's a couple of things that I would love to clear up with you, because we've got you here. We want to ask you the questions, get it straight from the source. And one of those things is, can you toggle Omni movement on and off? Can you turn on Omni movement on? The answer is no. Omni movement is a core foundational mechanic of the game. You cannot turn it off. But I think where people maybe got that impression was we have another new feature or part of movement that's called intelligent movement. You spoke to this in the direct a little bit. So I'd love for you just to touch on that, a little bit deeper, and the purpose of intelligent movement. I know you said too, in terms of mantling, chaining those maneuvers together, intelligent movement presents an awesome opportunity that I think players of all levels have. It's something that's really exciting for us.
Yeah. So like you said, Omni movement is a core foundational feature that cannot be disabled by a player. It's across the entire game, campaign, multiplayer, and zombies.
Yep.
But with intelligent movement, those are a suite of player settings that can be turned on or off. By default, they'll be off for everyone. I think we'll probably have, in your first time flow, we'll present those and ask if you want to turn them on. And those are at a super high level. It's 3 settings with some little tunables in each setting. That the goal really is to reduce button presses or key presses, right? It's for controller or KBM. And that was important to us as we started working through our movement initiatives and Omni movement. That said, we haven't actually added a button press, right? Because it's still at its core, it always starts with sprinting. Those are the things that you can turn on and off, and players will be familiar with something like an auto sprint or an auto mantle. So it's kind of like that, but it's built from the ground up specifically for Black Ops 6 and Omni movement, where it's a bit more intentional.
And customizable a little bit to that degree too, I think.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like an example of the customizable aspect of it is with sprint assist, which is the sprint aspect of intelligent movement. By default, we're still playing around with our default values, but by default right now, it'll have 0 delay. So when you push your stick forward, you'll start sprinting. But we have a setting in there that lets you add a little bit of time. So for that, as we play tested, some people want to, a very specific example is if I'm at a piece of cover and I have mantle assist on and sprint assist on, if I push my stick forward, it's just going to automatically mantle.
Yeah.
So with the setting, you can add a, say, 1 second delay where I can push my stick forward before that sprint assist kicks in. So I can kind of nudge up to a piece of cover without mantling over. So yeah, we want to make sure that we're giving enough player settings there where players can kind of dial in their own experience, because it's like, like I said in the showcase, I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all approach. And
right.
I'm sure that some players will want to have none on, some players will want to have some on, and that's what we've seen in our user testing and internally.
Another thing that we've seen that I love and I cannot wait to try and master is the dedicated melee weapon, which is so cool. So you want to have and bring a knife to a gunfight,
always.
So to speak. Now you can, literally always.
Never
it's always
leave home
there.
Without it.
Yep.
A dedicated melee weapon.
Yeah, that's really how it started. Is if we think about Black Ops agents, like if you just think about who they are, they're always going to have a melee weapon on them. It may not be a knife. Sometimes it's a baseball bat. I don't know. That's where it came from. Of let's try this. We're excited about it, and we just like the idea of not having to give up a secondary to take a melee weapon. So every player will have access to a dedicated melee weapon, and you'll have a few to choose from at launch, and then we'll have some fun stuff in store throughout the live seasons. But that's also another one. We didn't just throw in everybody gets a melee weapon. We've taken a look at tuning. We've got some kind of unique approaches to tuning, because we also don't want everybody running around with melee weapons and being annoying little nuisances. So we'll have more details to share. You'll experience in the beta.
It's all about the balance, and we'll be paying attention in beta, and we'll look to make those changes as needed.
Fine-tune the fun. Yeah. I think I'm excited about, but I'm stoked for dedicated melee.
Yeah.
We have another, it's coming eventually, but the zombies finale of the MWZ story.
Oh my goodness, Operation Deadbolt.
Dun, dun.
We're almost there. I have loved playing MWZ, and so yeah, the story's looking to get to the climax. We'll see what's in store in MWZ.